And as a war survivor, I seek the truth. I seek justice, not selective justice. I will want, if I were faced with, I were in a predicament that every avenue is according me, especially innocent to proving guilty. That what I would say. So here we are tonight. I'm going to start from um, the Sam Jackson case because that's what is brewing right now. There's a lot going on in Liberia. There's a lot going on. There are thousands and thousands of babies and children and older women that are being assaulted in Liberia. Songpa that we are not talking about. Yesterday, let me just say, I think I saw Sis Nisua years ago and continuously under the CDC led government. People protested for the same reason. And at one point, Josh Weah came out to speak to the Liberian women, promising that he was going to put aside $2 million to invest in DNA machine, rape kit. If it ever came through, I'm yet to hear that. I still have the video to that. Now, fast forward, we elected a so-called experienced government to change the trajectory, to create a better Liberia, to give hope. Not only to give hope, to also give security. That was the background or the backdrop of electing an older person who have been in government forever. Hey, Brother Eric. That was the essence of that. Most of you who know me, I have always spoken for women, for children, for justice, for accountability. But in the arena of where justice is blind, because those accused could be my friend, it could be me. And I want justice to be blind. I want justice to exercise, to be accorded me with all due process, not prematurely. I don't personally know Samuel Jackson, except for what we see on Facebook. I met Samuel Jackson, like I say, a friend of my brother, from afar. The first time I met him was when Darius Dillon came to me here in Georgia, and we hosted him at the center in DeKalb County. Excuse me. Thank you, Brother Joseph, for sharing this. That's when I met him. In fact, he literally was like, but that's a different day. He was like, yeah, I said, I thought you were this big, tall woman, you were this, you were that. And I get really shy when you got me. Most people don't believe that. But I like to ask questions. I'm not saying he's innocent, I'm not saying he's guilty. Okay. It is the job of Liberia security to tell us. It is their job to bring those evidence. But here is what bothers me. It reminds me of the movie with Harrison Ford called The Fugitive. The doctor comes home, his wife is in a pool of blood, and he's accused of killing his wife. And he runs away to try to prove himself to the people. But they have already sentenced him, per se. I'm not saying this is the case here, but I'm trying to think. Sam Jackson has security at his house. and I'm sure they're there all day long. And the change shift. I am told either he have people living in the house or you have people working in the house. He has a cook. He had a gentleman in the house that help around the house. Unless Sam Jackson is used to buying people in cold blood, I'm trying to think. This dude leave his house, go on a talk show. Musability had just left. Focus, center, conversate, back his thought, not blinking, being his usual self, loud, know it all, and carry on. He calls after his interview. The people at his house say, oh, the door is closed. He said, okay, I'm on my way home. I wanted you to wake her to get her ready because I'm coming home to pick her up to go shopping because we have a party tonight or this afternoon, or wedding, whatever. I'm just trying to think. Why are the people in this man's house not suspect also? Who or whom when he was not there? Are we saying this man beat up his wife? Okay? Listen, I want justice for this woman. She could be my sister. She could be my daughter. Some people say she's 35. Some people say she's 45. Some people say, it does not matter to me. Okay? All right? And I'm trying to think. We haven't heard. The only thing is, it seems like I saw a video today, and I'll play it later here. Where it says, once people have made up their mind about you, there's nothing you can say or do that's going to change their mind. Because the thing is, they will double down if you're trying to prove yourself innocent and that's guilty when they already would have decided. Okay? So, I'm going to continue. So, this man had people in his yard. He had people in the house that cook, that clean. He left. Okay? He must be like grandiose, narcissistic. Like narcissism at its higher core. Leave his wife, okay, that he had literally just brutalized at the point of, I'm saying what the Liberian government is saying, at the point of death. He goes to the studio, perform like his usual self. And maybe some of you who can analyze body language, you need to go and pull that video and compare it to other videos. And this is what happened in developed world. If it were developed world, where you have psychology, you got the people like Dr. Richardson and other people in that who can analyze behavior, body, what do you call it, speech pattern, body, and what do you call it, language, and all of that. You will have experts to look at that video and analyze and look at other comparable, maybe plenty of them. You will have the state will put resources into it because that's the whole idea. We don't want to send an innocent man to jail. The thing that people are saying is, oh, the man is doing this. You don't know what you will do when you are faced with tragedy, especially one that challenges you to your core. Somebody you live with for years, somebody you slept with, somebody that you say you love. Yeah, Profiler, thank you. Yeah, Peabody. Yes. Okay. Profiler. All right. That you sleep with in your house, that you brag about every day, that you literally took their life. And you go out and you perform. You condemn the government. You tell them they're failure. You tell them they're doing this. They're corrupt. They're that. And your best friend shows up a few hours later to tell the world that you're an abuser. Okay. I don't have any problem with Rufus. I was the first, and I said, thank you for being brave and so, so, and so, so, so. Now I'm thinking, I am the person that people love to hate. I have a lot of people that have been in my army, okay, who needed to get close to me at the time, especially when I had bigger platform, even when I was present in the community, even the way I carry myself. And those very people, I remember my brother friend, Stephen, who his own business, multi-millionaire, who supports me. And I get a lot of this. People call me, you show that person? I will call them my son, I will call them my daughter, I will call them my little sister, I will call them my big brother or something. So you show that person you're close to them. Yeah. I have my own cousin, we're in the chat room and talk trash about me. I don't know her. We met here and made a family connection. We'll come visit, I will go visit, we'll show them the show. She decided she will cut me down. Y'all Cindy is a liar. In fact, nobody likes her in the family. She said she went to school. She did not. She didn't even know what I did for a living. In fact, today I was going through my phone. I was going through my phone that the last place I worked before I went into business school to get my MBA and move up to working to the financial department. Good afternoon, everyone. When I was looking at the picture today, the people that I work with, different people, men mostly, when I work in electronics and telecommunication. She didn't know anything like that about me. And before she came to me, she said, oh, your auntie said this, your auntie said that. And I said, my auntie don't like me. And she does not. Maybe I'm the daughter she never had. Maybe I'm the woman that she would have loved to be and she's not. Every family have dynamics. I'm not going to say and watch how you call it. But she went in a room, in the chat room I'm not in. Somebody else have to stand up for me. Then she turned around and said, the person went off on her. I didn't stand up for her. And yes, I do have an MBA. Yes, I went to school for telecommunication. The goal is to try to finish up my terminal degree. Yes, I'm an educator in America. I've done that for a decade now. Everywhere where I studied, I work in that field for years. All right. Like today, I got a call. Let me extend my heartfelt condolences to my sister, Eleanor. It's somebody who has always been there for me. I didn't know her mom had passed. The woman called, I returned her call. Then I got other calls. I got call from my sister Gwen, from my sister Ruth. But I got another call today that we learned that you join CMC. I don't hide. I don't owe Alexander Cummings. I need people to know that. We have an understanding. I believe Alexander Cummings is the right person for Liberia. I started this journey with him. And at this point, I have no intentions of going anywhere. Let me explain you to y'all. Y'all don't know me. Those of you who've been on Facebook, who have followed me, one thing you will get from me is consistency. On this platform, in 2020, I got contacted by the Chum campaign. They were paid me. They would create the content to be the voice for Africa or Black women in this country because I was strong. Today, if you look on my wall, I made a post about my lawmaker. That lady, every day, even this month, last weekend, she and I were together. The week before last, we were together at a campaign rally. This weekend, we were at the reporting for our lawmakers. They're like, Yasini, just say the word. Where you want to run, you will be on the ticket. I decide that I don't want to run here, get into position here, because there are plenty of Yasendi in Georgia. There are few of me in Liberia. I got work to do. I want to leave a better country for Liberia. So when y'all, especially y'all, okay, because I know that not CNC talking it, I know that you're ANC people talking it. What's that? Do I intimidate y'all? You met me here. I helped build this, not ANC, but CFL. I started with Alexander Cummings. And until he said, yeah, I'm not running again, or I see that he can't do the job, I will come right here and tell y'all, I don't bite and blow. I don't hide, never have been. My mother told me to be the woman of my word. But let me continue on this. I just wanted to clarify this, okay? Y'all started this nonsense a couple of months ago, since ever since y'all started doing the campaign, that Yasendi were going to Musa Ability, Yasendi were doing this. Musa Ability is my brother. He's from Nimakante. His mother, the Mana woman, his father, the Mandingo man. In fact, his grandfather was one of the people, architect of Nima becoming a candidate beside being a provenance. So what's the problem? And he's a Liberian. It is his right if he wants to run. It is also my right if I want to support him at this point. Okay? He respects my decision. He knows where I stand. I'm not a wishy-washy person, never have been. Those of you who follow me, you know that. I pay my own freaking bill. I have my own mind. I'm an informed woman. The last I checked, nobody wrote my paper for myself. The last I checked when I came to this country, I have no mother, no father. So what I became after the foundation of my family, my parents gave me, I earned every inch of it, every drop of it. So I owe nobody explanation. I owe nobody. If I got up this morning and I said, you know what, I changed my mind. I don't want to support Mr. Cummings anymore. I will respectfully, I will actually call him out of respect for him, because I respect him, okay, and tell him. But I'm going to come back to this story. So Samuel Jackson got up in the morning after beating up his wife unmercifully. He's 70-some-more-year-old man. Battle cancer, still battling cancer, because he's still on medication. He has to come to America every 3 months. Yeah. He has to come here every 3 months to check his PSA. I think that's what it's called. Take his medication. He's on medication. Okay. I remember my brother as a young man, when he suffered cancer and he was going back and forth to Liberia to come back every 3 months. I have to ship medication to him to Liberia through DHL. He was a big guy, 6'2", 6'3", a big dude, well fit. Even at that, he did not have that kind of energy. So you're telling me, I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he did or he did not. I'm trying to understand, how did this man beat up his wife? Okay. When I had a whole conversation, not just a blah, blah talk, a political talk, but an actual intellectual conversation with data, okay, where you have to think stuff through and analysis and references and all of those things. And then come home. The first thing the man said when he came to his house, he met his wife, okay, in pool of blood. Where the police is yet to tell us. The picture we saw is the picture from the hospital after they opened her head. We don't know how long this woman was in the hospital that we are talking. There's no oxygen. This lady suffered from seizure or from epilepsy, because those are elevation. The same thing, but one is at a higher point. Okay. Nobody is telling us how long was she in the hospital. Did she get the proper care? How long was she unconscious for? When she got to the hospital, was she in coma? How did they get her to the hospital? Who were in the house? There's no way you will bang a whole human being on the wall and people in the house and nobody hear it. That she didn't scream one time. All are all loud in Liberia. The brick wall, we can hear through it. Everybody can hear each other. I'm just asking, I'm trying to understand. Because I know people have already, listen, I'm a woman. I grew up among women. I grew up where my mother's generation, women were considered other people's property. They were not allowed to make decisions for themselves. That's why I'm the way I am. So my mother poured into me. Okay. So, and you will hear me talk. But my thing is, I'm about justice. Not because we don't like somebody, not because the person challenge our government, not because the person challenge everyone. Samuel Jackson have gone off on Mr. Cummings before. He called him cheap. He said he went to Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings gave $100, all the money that Mr. Cummings has. Okay, and sometimes he talks trash about Mr. Cummings. But you know what? I remember one time he said something about me. I think on Spoon, and I did a whole show for him, and I came for him. Okay, I came for him. I came for his cousin. I came for everybody that I knew that he was connected to. Until some of his family members called me and said, "Sis, yeah, you can't do that." Okay, I will speak my truth. Just as I came here and talk when Prophet Key were arrested for freedom of speech. I still think it's illegal. I still think it is a violation of his right. I still believe that. I strongly believe that legally he's being violated. Okay? You pay him yesterday to insult people and say it was his right. Yesterday, you, Darren Zellon, said protest was a constitutional right. Now you're arresting Liberians and beating them and making them, putting them in place. So I like to understand, okay? How did this happen? For me, this is common sense. I'm trying to analyze. Okay, anybody got something else, please write it. So this man got people living in his house. Nobody heard him beat his wife. Have we questioned the people who live there? How was this woman door locked indoor? Okay. Did we do some toxicology tests to find out if she has soap on her body? Did she come for taking a bath? Did she fall off? What happened? All right. We don't see the picture. We see the picture from the hospital. We see the gash cut in her hair from the surgery that they were opening her head. Because maybe she was in coma. I'm trying to find out. Folks, like right now in Liberia, you get what they call Black Diamond Martina, the young lady that were fighting. I see Hassan Belete and everybody calling. They need to take her to the Hague. How does that balance out? How is that justice? How is that justice that a woman who were at the bottom of the fight, who were giving arm and ammunition, we don't know if she was under duress because these people are collecting girls. They're collecting my own little sister. Okay? Collecting young people and giving them guns. Okay? Like Yeke. Do y'all know that Yeke Bernard was killed? Beheaded? All right? The thing here, we don't want to solve the problem. We don't want the cost. We don't want to deal with the truth. What we want is, we want to take care of the symptom. Taylor is not in the Hague because he killed Liberians. Taylor is in the Hague because he killed Sierra Leone. Because he cut off their limbs. Because he stole their diamond. Because he raised war across the border. That's what Taylor is there. How many Liberians? You idolize George Bulley. You idolize Doe. You idolize Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. You idolize Prince Johnson. You idolize Yahya Nimlin. You idolize Roosevelt Johnson. You idolize Alhaji G.B. Nkrumah. Okay? And so on. But you are telling us the woman who may not even have been in her 20s, who were operating under pure pressure. You know, the special envoy to Liberia, all-male secretary, Jacques Klein, said about 70 to 75% of those who fought the war, they were children, based on United Nations description of children 18 and below 18. And most of them were on drugs. And they operated whatever most teenagers operate on. High tension. And killing is simple. They make killer machine out of them. But you are going to prosecute her out of the country. But you playing with a TRC report that were crafted as supposed to jumpstart the country. All of those people are rewarded. You got friends in Humane who confess to killing our people all over in Lofa country. You gain position, make you a minister. In fact, you're making the head of the whole government in Liberia to interface with everyone. How is that justice? So I'm trying to find out here so all of us can be aware. That's a some common sense. Then I'm hearing Liberian people talking about forensic investigation. Do you know how long schooling you do for forensic study? You take bleach to go to a house where somebody died in. Bleach, Clorox. But you went clean. Did you have warrant when you went to the house the first time? Teacher Pepe, hello. I'm trying to understand. For me, I want justice. Like when Odell Sherman was raped, and we keep on this platform. When they say they will provide us pathology, we hire a former U.S. serviceman to go to Liberia. After the examination, all the tests were done. The Liberian government confiscated the sample that you were bringing to like America for testing. What I have is report, is observation. We have the report. Where she had blood flows trauma to his head. Hopefully, we don't copy and paste somebody else's report because they have reported that. She was beaten. So, those people who went for 2 months to Kenya and Rwanda, those are the pathologists that we're going to use to do this complex testing. They don't have respect for people's lives and themselves. The same group that told us Princess Cooper died from tuberculosis, but we're living with her fiance in the house. Everybody in the same building, none of them had tuberculosis. That the woman had tuberculosis so badly that she vomited her whole intestine, her guts, her liver, her lungs, everything out. Liberia, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's a shame. A 200 years country. That's why I'm laughing. It is a shame. It is pain. What is paining me that got me saying what I'm saying? And I will ask this question with Rufus. I have a question. I see a lot of people came for Rufus, and a lot of people were defending him. What's in it for him? That's my brother. I like him. But for me, It don't matter. My brother, my biological brother, my brother worked for UP, well, advisor to the vice president, the president. I still call UP out, especially during the Ebola. During the Ebola, I was the face and the voice for Liberians here in Georgia. I was the first to do what do you call it? A press interview, major press interview on CNN, NBC, ABC, CNN, all of them were calling me. The first time Liberians spoke on the news to solicit help, I connected LACC via Skype with CNN, NBC. When Sawyer had just left for Nigeria, in fact, died on his way, I interfaced with the governor of Georgia, Nathan Dew, at the time, on that interview on NPR. It's out there. Y'all go look for it. This is not to brag. It's how much I put on the line for Liberia. But I do want the right thing to be done. I want, if this girl were hurt by the man she was married to, I want justice for her. But I don't also want to see an innocent man because he loud mouth, maybe he's been in every government frame, and he's agitating, okay? I don't want that to be his punishment. My brother, who went off to become a PhD, used to suffer from seizure. In fact, the people used to say he was crazy. He would go play ball. That thing would catch him. He would drop, jumping. God was within there. On my job, we have kids. I'm sure Zeze you do, who wear helmet because they have seizure or they have epilepsy. Some of them so bad that they have like no pad on their elbow, on their knee, and a helmet on. Some of them, they keep them in wheelchair. I don't know if that's the case with this girl. I don't know. I know there is and you know what we're really shameful? Like whenever things were said that were damaging to Samuel Jackson, that had timeline on it, we posted it. They put, but no date. You had the timestamp, no date. No date at all. Today I saw a post that a guy said he used to date this girl. And the girl said she met this rich man and blah, 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 blah. Now then, in the end, he said he killed her. How does he know he killed her? How do we know he does not feel defeated because a young man like him, a woman left him, a young woman left him for an older man? Now I'm going to stop here because my 15 minutes is gone. I want to talk about what is happening in Liberia in respect to the border. And we are hearing story. And I want to talk about Jeremiah Pierre. When you see his kind, and when they're talking like that, those are people who protested with me in New York. When you hear them talking like that, they have no answer for the Liberian people because they have lied. They lied from the onset. They cannot walk the talk. So that's a distraction or a diversionary tactic to deviate, to divert your attention, to make it people get upset. You air it out and it's done. They lied. When this thing first started, I texted somebody on Spoon. And I said, please recommend that the president speak to the issue. The president did not have to give us full details. The president just needed to admonish the people. The president works for the people. It's not in democracy. Democracy can only flourish. That's why a lot of people like don't like an educated populace. They don't like an educated nation. But for democracy to flourish, the population must be informed, must be educated. Okay? I'm not saying they need to have a degree. I'm saying they need to understand the right and responsibility that the government is answerable to them, that the government is working for them, that you are paying them, that they're working for you. If you can hold them accountable, except the public just needed to come and say, Liberian, we know something is happening at the border. It does not look good, but we are investigating. Okay. We are the oldest nation. Most of these nations, we help them get their independence. We have, the colonial deed, which before the nation got their independence, before the independence movement, okay, after 1945, after World War II, we are investigating and we'll get with you. We'll continue to update you to let you, the nation, know what is happening. But for right now, there's no imminent danger. We are working behind the scene to investigate to find out what's going on. Liberians will take that. We will take that. It shows that you acknowledge that you work for the people, that you answer over to the people, that you are leading. But when you leave gaps, the people will fill it in. They will make decisions that they think is happening. Okay? And this is what is happening. Fela Pierre is rude. He will be in power forever. These are the people that were just calling people yesterday when they were here for 6 years and they could not survive, asking other people to do this for them, to do that for them. This is what happens when people get in government and they feel entitled. They don't feel that they're answerable to the people. They have no intentions of answering to the people. This is what happened. And this is what is happening now. Okay? He comes up, he insults. And I listened to Pape Boaka say he opening a school. I know the last time Mr. Cummings was on the air, he throwing jabs. He said the people need food. Study has shown that all over. Any informed person, any truly educated person will tell you the Maslow hierarchy of need. That's the first thing human worry about. That is the primary, the human environment. What do you eat? How do you feed your children? Where do you lay your head? What's next? And you are coming to throw tantrum. Pape Boaka, yes, you're president today. But at the same Alexander Cummings, when you enter in ERWA, they will pay money for you to stay alive. He knows what he's saying. He worked in the real world where people are accountable, people are answerable, where you got bosses that your investors are your customers. Where there are real consequence for Black men and foreigners. This is somebody who gave you thousands of dollars during your campaign. This is somebody that will provide for you when you come to Georgia, that you call your friend and brother, will put in tens of thousands of dollars in your honor. I am a witness. I'm not talking in a vacuum. Those are facts. Leaders must walk their talk. It's Thursday night, folks. And I'm sitting here and looking like, and I see everybody talking that Thomas Fallah brother is the reason for all of this. Y'all do the people work. But I'm going to end with this. What happened to the 15-year-old boy that was raped by 3 men? And you're Liberians right here in America. The other one that came from Georgia, that y'all went to Liberia and raped somebody's child. Y'all will be exposed in due time. Brian McGill will also be exposed. I am still thinking Rufus, who wrote that paper. I'm thinking you have a friend that you've been close to. That the wife were comfortable enough to come and talk to you. That he had been on the air writing his wife is in a hospital. I think he wrote and said, "You'll pray for my wife." Hours and hours passed. She didn't die to the other house. She died in a hospital. They said there was no oxygen. If they were opening her brain, they said she was hemorrhaging. How long did it take them? And when leaders don't find solution, when they don't solve problem, they make more problem. They loot, they steal, they lie from one government to one government. Now we are all here. We are all here telling different stories. The nurses and the doctors and the those who can stand the loudmouth Samuel Jackson have already sentenced him. Let me see what I had there was yes, this is the video that I want to play, and I have no copyright to this video, folks. I will play this video. It says once people have made up their mind about you, there's nothing you can do. Okay, so let me come here and play this video. Again, I have no copyright to this video. And it makes sense to me. It makes all of the sense to me in the world. Let's listen here for a second.
But if you
listen, everyone.
That the truth would win. Believe that the truth would win. That if you kept calm, stayed quiet, and let the system work, eventually the facts would speak louder than the noise. But I was wrong. I am here to tell you, with the authority that very few others have, that once accusations are made, the facts don't matter. They don't want the truth. I mean, you believe in justice, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Truth doesn't redeem you. It embarrasses the people who are wrong about you, and so they bury you even deeper. I used to believe that the truth would win. That if you kept calm, stayed quiet, and let the system work, eventually the facts would speak louder than the noise. But I was wrong. I am here to tell you, with the authority that very few others have, that once accusations are made, the facts don't matter. They don't want the truth. I mean, you believe in justice, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Truth.
Yeah. So some it does not matter. We say that, but we don't. All of a sudden, people who have stolen from Liberians, people who have lied, people who are embezzle money from organizations are telling us they have the character that we should listen to them. I'm saying it and I don't care. All of a sudden, we're saying that. What's in it for us? What's in it for us? Mm-hmm. It's this, Valerie. I may not like a person. I may not agree with them. But I like justice to be blind. This is system. Liberia has no system. You kept a woman in the hospital for hours who needed emergency attention, like life and death. So let's just agree. Maybe he beat her. Maybe he did. But I'm trying to understand this though. This house has a housekeeper, has a cook. This house have security guards. Nobody heard nothing. The man left, he took a bath, he got dressed up, he went to the radio station. He blasted the current government. He called his people who work for him. Tell my wife to get ready. I call her phone, she's not answering. He gets home, his wife is in pool of blood. But you show all the picture at the hospital. You show us, publish this woman hair that you have scraped for surgery, brain surgery, and make the whole world think you gash your head. I have pictures here of people who suffer. I'm not saying that's what happened to her. I want to be clear because you will come for me. And anybody who come for me, I told you this year, you come for me, I will match your energy and I do not give a fuck what you think. Okay? I don't. I really, really don't. I need people to understand that. If you go cuckoo, I will come right to your cuckoo level and we'll meet and meet each other. I don't get into the drama. I just don't get into it. But you come for me, I will come for you the best way I know how. All right. You got a boyfriend calling around and making. We all know Samuel Jackson is loud. We all know Samuel Jackson can be something else. We all know that. Okay. And that's Samuel Jackson. I show up that day was the same Samuel Jackson. That's what I see. All right. Let me show you some. I'm gonna. I really don't want to put this girl picture out here, but I didn't do this stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and I may skip it. Okay. I'm gonna show you some picture here. This is somebody who has seizure or epilepsy. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead attack. Okay. Of episode. We can call it That's a need that we require in the school. So let me show you here. Crisis, okay, was in crisis, our crisis. So let's see where we are. Oh, come on. Give me 1 second because I'm almost getting done. System's kind of slow. Okay, here we go. Maybe it will come up. There we go. I didn't post it. Jim Marshall posted. All right. Did my own research. Like I told you, my own brother used to suffer from seizure. He would, yes. So let's look here. Okay. Y'all see these faces? Let me see if I can pull it apart. These are all somebody having crisis. Okay, these faces. They are not, I have no copyright to that, but they are on the seizure, you know, living with epilepsy after seizure diagnosis. Okay, there's these people right here. Okay, so here we go. I'm not gonna show this girl. Okay, see the face right there? See the other guy? See the eye? Okay, let me see right here. See right there? See the different spot? Okay, see them? Okay, you see it? Hopefully that helped. And like when people are saying, oh, it's not possible. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's why we carried emergency batches that we have to press. That's why there's certain timeline that the person have to, people have to be there. So my question stays then, have we interviewed those who were left at the house, those who were in the house? How long were they there? Did they change shifts? I say enough for one night. It's 1 hour. Let me say to all of you who tune in tonight, thank you for so much for joining me tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow morning on our 10 for 10 minutes talk. All right. I will okay, that way I'm gonna take it from tomorrow morning we'll talk about where we are. Pierre like to be in the news. Pierre is those are people who can compete anywhere else. Liberia wasted money on them, sending to all of these school, you know, Harvard educated, you educated. And on a normal day without government position, they can't compete, they will never be able to enter. Okay. And when they get, so long they're not in government, what happens? They, they can't work in a competitive environment. So they run up to Liberia. They get arrogant when they're in a position of power. And then when that job goes, they have nothing else. And the very people that were insulting yesterday, all of a sudden they become humble. Okay. I would say like this guy, what his name? Mr. P said, remember, government job or doing Liberia is not like a borrow jacket that you got to turn it back in. In Liberia, it's not the case. In Liberia, those in government have been there like all their lives and they block everywhere. They don't build, they're not answerable, they're totally above everything else. That said, I just wanted us to rethink. If you were in a predicament, if you put yourself in other people's shoes, if you are accused of wrongdoing, I believe you will want due process. You will want to be given the benefit of the doubt. You will want to be heard. You will want to be well represented. right? And I also I think the survivor and the victim, like I am, if victim and not a survivor of the war that you brought to us in Liberia, that you and your people are enjoying. I do want justice, but I don't want it to be selective. I want justice that is blind. I want equitable justice, and that's what I seek. You know, when you look at one person here, you pick them up, you carry them because the European are giving you money. You're building yourself houses. You guys are owning yourself. You're coming on Facebook and doing that. How does a girl who could not even afford food to eat be accused and you're taking her to the Hague so you can lock her up? That's not justice for me. When Bouaka just had a party, honor the killers themselves. We buried them all. Then have a party with he and his people to say everything is over. How do you reconcile without even acknowledging those of us who suffer, whose lives were interrupted? I thought you gave justice. People are held accountable. People even acknowledge what they've done. Then you have reconciliation. But it's a F you all. You can mope all you want. I am the president now, so everything I was said was a lie. Let me say good night to all of y'all. Liberians, let's be open-minded. Let's be fair. Let's always think about karma or life as a boomerang. That what you throw out may one day come to you. It may not come to you directly. It may come to a family member, to a friend, to someone that you love. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm simply saying that. And I'm not perfect, but I'm simply telling you that. That said, let me say good night. Sis Valerie, welcome. But Emmanuel, Teacher Zeze, Sis Yamincho, Brother Wayne, Brother Eric, I want to say to all of you, thank you so much for tuning in. God bless and good night. Our 1 hour is finished. Let's say good night.